GameWorn Radio is on the air.
Hey! Shelton scored! Up in the Cordova, baby! We're going bowling. Now, let's go hunt moose on a Harley. The fires, he scores! L.A. face with an Oakland booty. Make me a bicycle clock. They score! Bowmeister paid that man his money.
GameWorn Radio.
Hey everybody, it's Derek with GameWorn Radio, part of GameWorn.us. I'm here with Dan, Jason,
What's up?
Marco, Eric, Bert.
Hey.
And we got all of everybody together to talk a little bit about our topic this week, which is something's going to be really, really fun. It's going to be game-worn cards, whether it's sticks, piece of gloves, pads, jerseys, whatever. We're talking about game-worn cards, so that's going to be a lot of fun, because I doubt anybody here actually likes game-worn cards, which is cool. The reason why we're talking about it...
I love game-worn cards.
Oh yeah, I'm sure you do, Marco.
I'm trading in my game-worn jerseys for a whole pack of game-worn cards.
You're making your own?
There. You got some grails.
God's sakes.
Give me that.
I don't
grail,
have enough flicker for this conversation.
No, but the premise is, as jersey collectors, obviously we don't want to see any of the shit destroyed, but that's exactly what these card companies do. And I can't really pinpoint exactly when it started happening, Alright, so I got into jerseys because I used to be a card collector back in like 02, 03. And then I put it down for a while, and I picked it back up probably like in 2011. And I was searching around eBay, and all of a sudden I found actual jerseys, not just jersey cards. And it clicked in my head like, you can actually own the jersey as opposed to a little piece of it on a card. That's tight. Let me do that instead. So that's how I got started in jerseys. So it's kind of like a gateway thing. But I still have some of these bitches laying around. So I busted them out today so I can actually use them in the conversation. So it'll be pretty fun. Did anybody else here get started in jerseys because of cards?
No, not me.
Not me. Not me.
Damn,
I think you're the only one, Derek.
Well, you got to start somewhere.
Well, Derek, actually, I did cards for quite a bit. Not because, and I wouldn't say I got into jerseys because of cards. I just did everything hockey, and whatever. But I got some interesting stuff. I've actually sold a couple. What I think people would consider fodder to card companies. Some like what might even been preseason stuff. I mean, I had no idea what it was, and I'm pretty knowledgeable about jerseys and where they come from, but I've seen them buy stuff, and I still have some.
They're taking all your shit then. They're taking all your shit gear.
Oh yeah, I think I listed it for like $99 at one time. Yeah. It was like I couldn't take anything. I would have taken a beer for the damn thing. But yeah, there's I don't know how much hockey they still do, but in the game. There's Brian Price. He bought a lot of. He bought one thing off me and one thing off my buddy, and I mean, literally, it was like I couldn't tell. It was a Devil's 19, so I couldn't tell if it was McKenzie or Carpenter, and I think it was probably just a rookie camp something another, because it was like a 52, and there's like, and I have enough McKenzies to know there's no way he wears a 52, but it had some wear. I mean, it could have been like Little Devils as far as I know. But my grade was hawking them for like $45 at a flash sale, and I had it for like 2 years. And I'm like, what am I? I'm going through my racks, and I'm like, what do I have this piece of shit for? So I put it up for $99. And somebody binned it right off the bat. I'm like, oh, this is Brian Price. I know that guy. So I asked him if I said, I told him right up front. I said, look, I don't know if this is game worn. He's like, oh, I'm just keeping it for cataloging purposes. I'm like, well,
bullshit.
Well, yeah, whatever that means, I mean, I don't know who he's going to pawn all that off as, but
that's a game. card right now, guaranteed.
I wouldn't be surprised, but I'm not paying for it, so.
No, I agree with you completely. It's shit. Like you said, I think that's a great way to start the show. Like that's living evidence right there that, like you see these cards and they say event worn sometimes, right? Because they don't want to say game worn, and now they're getting into gray areas now because they don't even know what the fuck they have, and that's ridiculous. I'm sure Derek has a whole shit ton to add to this topic. Derek, why don't you get it kicked off?
Okay, so first let me say that my oldest card that I have in front of me is from like 2001, right? And it's a Steve Eiserman Upper Deck Ice combo card, right? And it's got a piece of a stick in it and a little swatch of a jersey. Now the cool thing about this card is it's ice, which means they use clear material in the card. So when you flip the card over, you can see the corners of how they actually cut the swatch, so you can see the entire piece, as opposed to other cards where they hide the corners and the edges under pieces of cards, and they give you a little window to view it. Now, if you read the back, it says, "You've just received a Steve Eiserman Game Use Jersey Stick trading card from the Upper Deck Company. On the front of the card are authentic pieces of a jersey and hockey stick used by Steve Eiserman in an official NHL game." So back then, they were basically using the back of the card as a certificate or letter of authenticity about the piece that's in the card. Now, obviously, you don't know what year or set or anything that corresponds with the piece that's on the card, which is fine. Now, one of the things that I've noticed is with rookies, back when Zetterberg was a rookie, one of the hot ones is like an autograph and a patch. All right, so there's different tiers to this shit. So they'll cut up the jersey where, anywhere where there's not an insignia or patch or anything, they'll cut it up and it's just a little piece of fabric, right? Otherwise, you can get a more sought after piece of jersey, I guess, where it's like the emblem or the logo of the team or the numbers cut up into pieces and put on there. And so they would put those into rookie cards, right? Well, if you flipped over that rookie card because that player hadn't played yet, it would be from an event, and it would say in the certificate area that it was used in a specific event or a photo shoot or something like that, right? So they're basically using the back to describe the event. Now, Marco, you said they're using a bunch of fodder, but I've seen scary evolution in the more recent times. So before it was just random shit. So you would get, piece of fabric or some of the cards had large pieces of fabric and some of them had smaller. So, you always wanted that bigger piece, or you wanted the patch card because it had a piece of the logo and shit like that. Well, now we're starting to see the entire card is taken up and they put a letter of the player's name from the nameplate in the card. So they're actually using bigger and bigger pieces, finding ways to utilize more space. I've also seen, and we'll talk about it a little bit later on the show, they're using freaking set tags, man. Have you seen the one, I think I put an article out on GameWorn.us with a Kabi Bulin card that had the migrate tag. That's all it was, is the migrate tag. Like, they cut out the migrate tag, put on a card, and it was like, look at this, it's so sweet.
Yeah, I've seen those. And the other, when they've done those with, I've seen the Ryan Miller. I think even Barry owns a couple, too, of those.
Yeah, I think he tries to collect quite a few of those. I've sent him links over the years on them, and some other people have.
Yeah, I like he has the Ryan Miller 0203 preseason one. I mean that's what the card cutting company bought. So
Yeah, but that's for vanity for his company. Okay, let's not. This is not a
No, I'm just
highly
saying that.
desirable piece of merchandise to have.
Yeah, let me say one thing. One thing about the cutting up the jerseys, I think I don't really have too much of a problem of doing it with modern jerseys because let's face it, they typically will wear a jersey maybe for a period and give it to a card company. There you go. Okay, and that's not really going to kill the collectors too much. It's the vintage stuff that kills me,
Same
where
here.
you see, I think I guess Eisman would kind of go down that route now, but even the older stuff, the Howe jerseys that are
How about
cut
this?
up.
How about this? You have received a Mr. Hockey game used hockey stick trading card from Upper Deck. On the front of the card is an authentic piece of a stick used by Mr. Hockey in an official NHL game. How about that?
Here's the thing. Okay, I'm going to chime in here. How do we know what they're selling you is really a Gordie Howe stick? Because you're never going to be able to fucking prove otherwise. So what the fuck does it matter? The conversation we're having now, I love talking about this stuff. Don't get me wrong, but I just don't know if any of this shit, like these card companies, man, they could be super crooked, and it's not because they're naturally inclined to just be crooks. It's because no one can call them out on this shit. How are you ever going to call them out on this stuff?
Marco, did you ever see the video of I think it was
Panini.
Panini? Yeah, that
Panini.
had all the
Red Wings, dude.
Euro,
It was killing me.
yeah, yeah, it had all of them. It had all the European game jerseys from when they played the first game or two uh, in Europe. I think it was like the Lightning and some other teams, Sabres. Derek mentioned the Wings, and then they'd walk over and here's a Mario Lemieux, which I think we all kind of debunked as that's not Mario Lemieux. The C was wrong. There was all kinds of stuff wrong with it.
Of course.
Yeah. So I mean, but there was like I don't know.
I'm not saying all their stuff's bad.
I know, but then there
I'm not
was
saying it's
something
all
that
bad.
they walked over to that was pretty well worn that looked game worn to me just from a distance. That was vintage. I forget what the jersey was, but it was just like ugh. Yeah, I don't. To be honest, I don't give a shit if they cut up three Ovechkins from this year. The guy's going to wear like 20 of them anyway. So what's bring it down to 17. But when they get down to cutting up guys from the 70s and 80s, that's the shit that bothers me.
All I'm saying, despite videos of whatever, they're going to give you the videos of the really shitty ass jerseys, and even then, you'll only see a fucking 20-second clip of them just showing you them cutting up the jersey. They don't show you anything about wearing the jersey, stick marks, pilling on the inside of the jersey. They'll show you none of that stuff, and basically, these memorabilia, it's more like a money laundering. It has more in common with a money laundering company or a corporation than it does an actual memorabilia corporation when you really look at the hard facts. This is the same thing where they're giving you, these companies give you a LOA that comes with a signed puck that says this is from such and such a company to authenticate this item. They say nothing about the item. They don't even say what it is. They say this piece is genuinely authentic. It's the same fucking thing. There's no but with these companies it's even worse because they're all cut up into little pieces. It's impossible to fit the puzzle together to actually verify if it's game worn or not. It's all, and for that reason, that's why I think it's junk. It's all junk. And there's a lot more to go into. Obviously, go ahead.
Here's another thing, Marco. There's a whole rash of people faking patches too, where they'll buy like a retail, and to make the patch more, have more colors or more interesting features to it, they'll remove the patch from a card and put like a fake patch on it. There's a bunch of Crosby rookies that are like that.
I know. My great group with two O's spelled GROOP instead of GROUP. I've seen that jersey in front. I've had that jersey in my hands before. There's tons out there like that, and that's the thing. Panini, whatever, Upper Deck. These guys are not game worn jersey experts.
Right.
They're experts at selling fucking hockey cards. So and they have the golden ticket, man, because once they slice that horrible forged piece of shit jersey up, there's no way to say conclusively this was or was not a game worn jersey. So I mean, it's ludicrous. It's ridiculous. No one's ever going to call them out on it because there's never going to be a game worn jersey card committee that's going to make sure all this shit's legit. But it's happening. It's like what happened with the jersey that was bought for $99. That was a piece of shit. That
Right.
You said, like, why do I have this piece of shit in my collection? And you sold it. They bought it now in 2 seconds, and that's it. And that card is probably out there as a genuine, NHL regular season game worn, super fucking important, 1/4-inch slab, and it's garbage, and it's just sad. There are arguments, of course.
I just happened to be on eBay while we're talking about this, and did actually just search for card and my gray, and found a Ryan Getzlaff from it's a 910 card, but it's it's the my gray patch from 0304. So I looked up the population report, and it's a preseason preseason purple.
Oh my god, it's so brutal! I can't believe that. That's the
they want $600 for it.
That's insane. That's the smoking gun right there. I mean, if look, you just did a 2-second eBay search. That's insane.
Yeah, you could have had the whole preseason Getzlaff for that price too.
Yeah, yeah.
And the sad thing is the other shady thing they'll do is they'll have I'll use Belfour as an example. They'll have a swatch of black, and they'll have a picture of him from his Chicago days, and then you start trying to figure out, or you look on the back of the description, it'll say, oh, this swatch was from one of his Dallas times, or they'll have a picture of red, and you'll think it's Chicago because it has a Chicago picture, and it'll be like, oh, this is Florida Panther days, and that's just an example of kind of misleading based upon the graphic on the face of the card versus what the description really is as well.
You know what is funny to add on to that? I've seen game worn jersey cards where there's a fucking color in there, and I'm thinking that player throughout his history never wore that color at all. I'm like, how is this even possible? And it happens. I'm telling you, if you guys do enough research on this shit, and you go and do enough eBay research, you'll come across guys that they give you a game worn jersey card where there's purple on it. And you're like, what the fuck? He never played for a team that could have ever worn purple in their jersey at all. It happens all the time. That's what I'm saying. This stuff is ridiculous. It's a joke.
See,
and a lot of people don't know any better.
I wish it was a joke across the board, though. See, here's the problem: is
but a lot of times they don't care. They don't care. They want to see, I mean, look at all the rookie cards that come out. These, at least when I stopped. Truly cards, and I didn't do a whole lot of a lot of the high end stuff. I just kind of did the the low end shit. A lot of the high end rookie cards are all photo shoot jerseys.
Yeah.
So what they'll do is they'll put them in some Chinese knockoff, have them skate around, take a couple pictures of them, cut it up, and then that's why you get somebody in some other looking jersey that they've never worn. Because they wore it in a photo shoot, and this is real prevalent in football, by the way.
Oh, yeah, I think Derek was going to allude to something that I think is very important about how these guys kind of legitimize doing what they do.
Here's the thing: is they do have shit peppered in there, and we can prove it by the migrate tag ones or in the pop ports and all that shit. But here's my problem. Is when they do like a high profile buy and cut that sumbitch up.
That's right.
Right. I remember back in the day they bought like a Babe Ruth, a no shit Babe Ruth jersey and cut the motherfucker up. Put it in cards.
You know why they did that, right?
To legitimize all the shit.
That's right. To legitimize all of the other fucking bullshit. Didn't they do that with George Vezina?
They did his pads, yeah.
Oh my god, the only George Vezina pads that are known to be out there, the only ones. Fucking cut them up.
Yeah, gone.
Were out there, right?
Yeah.
Not out there anymore. Done.
And the thing is, you can only use the exterior leather. What the hell are you doing with all the horsehair that was in the inside or whatever that they used back then? So it's on the cutting room floor.
Killing me.
Okay, I don't want to get into this too quickly, but we should talk about the other side of it, which are the pros. Are there any pros?
I would say a
coming to
pro would
mind.
be the shit getting up on eBay and people stumbling across actual jerseys and making the conversion like what I did. They can grow our
for
hobby by
illegitimate
that.
stuff. But
Well, if someone's a card collector, which we're not, they would say probably, well, it gives more people a chance to own a piece of the jersey instead of one jersey.
that's true.
I personally don't give a crap what you think about that because you just wreck the jersey. But they might say if we cut that jersey up into 500 pieces, 500 people get a piece of that jersey instead of just one person owning that jersey.
Yes, and I think that's a pro, and I'll tell you why. Because when I was a kid, I collected hockey cards and baseball cards. Baseball cards primarily, which was weird, but I could buy a shitty pack of baseball cards with fucking gum that had expired, 3 years ago, and I eat the gum. And look at all these baseball. And that would cost me $2. A kid cannot get into our hobby. An 8-year-old cannot get into the hobby of game-worn jersey collecting. It's financially impossible. So if this is a gateway to that, then yeah, I would consider that a pro. You guys think?
Yeah, until you start realizing that some of these packs of hockey cards cost like $100 a pack for
That's
4
insane.
cards.
Yeah.
There's some packs that are 400, 500. The cup by Upper Deck. I mean, you can look it up right now. Go look up what a pack of the Upper Deck the Cup runs. It's hundreds of dollars. That's not $100. It's hundreds of dollars.
Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I loved insert cards. I thought they were sweet shit. But I loved autographs.
Yeah.
Autographs is where I was at. They started putting in the game stuff. It was like, that's cool, but I'd rather have an autograph.
And the ironic part is that if you got a game-worn jersey, you're like, well, as long as it doesn't have a fucking autograph on it.
Well, that's where I want my autographs. I want my autographs on a card, not on a jersey.
Exactly.
I actually picked up a Bobby Orr autograph card in a pack, and I thought it was pretty sweet.
Oh, that is really sweet.
So, I mean, like, you get some cool shit like that. I used to have a Gretzky autograph card and shit like that. It was pretty sweet. But obviously, some of the shit comes out of those really expensive packs.
You want to hear a side note?
Yeah.
I have a Bobby Orr game use stick. I brought it in. You know what Bobby Orr charges for autographs? He charges $300 for an autograph to start.
What?
And I brought my stick in to be autographed for $300. He saw the stick. He said no. And then I asked, "Hey," they're like, "Come get your refund." I'm like, I don't want a refund. I'll take it, but I would rather have just had Bobby Orr just autograph my fucking stick. I'm like, why wouldn't you autograph it? And I don't want to bat Bobby Orr, but he's got a company called Great White North, and they said the reason that he won't autograph a lot of items is because it will raise the value on the item beyond what the value of what you're paying for the autograph. So autograph game use Bobby Orr stick, won't do it. Buy a facsimile off Great White North. That's bullshit. That sucks. But anyways, I digress. That's my little shitty fucking pissed off Bobby Orr rant. So anyways, continue.
To answer questions too, I looked up the Upper Deck the Cup from different years. The 10-11, a box of that's $469. A box of 2014-2015 Upper Deck the Cup is $429. That's asinine for flipping cards.
How many
packs are in a box though?
Probably one.
Six cards in a pack or something like that.
How many packs in a box?
See.
No, that's it. There's one pack per box. That's it.
What?
It's called
one pack per box, 5 cards per pack, 2 patch autographs in every box, include 1 rookie audio or autograph, 4 hits per box, fine RPAs of Eklund, Reinhardt, and all this.
Blah 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 blah. Who gives
Yeah.
a shit?
Yeah.
And you don't get anybody that you're like, who the fuck is this? You know. And one strange person out there gets the one big card.
You're paying a bill per card to get 6 cards. You could
It's a grab
use
bag.
that buy a damn jersey.
It's a grab bag.
Yeah.
To get one inch of cloth.
To get a piece.
Yep.
A piece.
Yep.
You get the whole damn thing.
More pros. There are more pros to this. I can list 2 right now, but I want to see if anyone else can list any pros to this game-worn hockey jersey card. Absolute ridiculous bullshit.
All right, so what do we got right now? We've got sometimes we can trick them into buying our bullshit. We've got
it gets more people access to a jersey.
That's right. Yeah.
Well, it's a gateway to the game-worn hobby, I think.
For sure. Yeah.
All right, so
it's to some people it might be. To some people it might be they get a couple of those cards and they say, I really want the full jersey. I could see that could be a gateway. Wasn't personally for me, but
so number 3 is gateway jug.
I think that's what Jason said basically. Is it gets more people into the hobby, in the game-worn hobby. So yeah, I think that's. But I think we're at 2 pros right now. 2. I'm gonna add a third. I'm going to say that for me, personally, I like collecting jerseys of players that may have only played a few games with the team. So for me, when I see a game-worn jersey card and that has my player on it that I'm taking for a grain of salt may be legitimate, it helps me understand how many jerseys may be out there, like by subtraction. You get where I'm going with that?
Well, yeah, I can see that if a guy is only up for half a season, or plays in the preseason, you may have a jersey card that was made from his home or his away, and there may only be one other one out there.
That's right. So that's a pro for me as a game-worn jersey collector, for sure.
If you believe they cut the jersey up.
That's right.
Yeah.
I don't even know. So you take what it's worth, right? I don't know. Who knows?
I mean, you can have faith that you're like, okay, maybe they didn't do it. Maybe they were legit, but there's been so much fake crap out there with the autographs, with the other shit that's gone on, and all the time that we've all been collecting. If we all add up how much time we've collected, whatever you collected, the years amount that we've collected and the crap that we've seen and then read stories about, it's just so hard to trust. So hard to trust that you cut the fucking jersey up and that is his jersey or his stick or his pad. How can you trust it?
That's the sad thing, is that some of those cards actually do contain actual legitimate game-worn jerseys that could have been researched a little bit more and been legitimized fully and been a great piece of the hobby and hockey history, and now they're fucking gone.
Well, yeah, Panini had one guy that worked for him for 5 years, and he knew jerseys, and he cut the jerseys up and said, "Oh, this is good shit." He leaves. The next guy comes in, he's fucking off the street, selling comics, and now he's cutting up jerseys. He don't know what he's doing.
No,
it's a crapshoot, and they don't come with. They'll give you a card that's got the guy in a red jersey, but the swatch is white. And then on the back it says it's a different team. So now you got what is it? So
you'll love this. You'll love this. Here's a card. Dennis Potvin and New York Islanders picture.
Oh my god, goddamn.
Hold on. I think it's better. On the back it says, "You've received a card featuring a piece of NHL game used dasher boards from Joe Louis Arena in Detroit, Michigan."
That makes me feel better. What the fuck does that have to do with Dennis Potvin?
Exactly. So you got this player in Islanders shit with a piece of dasher board, and on the back it says it's from Joe Louis. Killing me.
Yeah, at least if you do it from the arena his home arena, I kind of get that one. But Jesus, come on.
No, man, that's completely legit. Like Dennis Potvin played an away game at Joe Louis Arena, and he got like a board burn off of those boards, and now you cut it up. Like that's sick, man. Like that should be worth like fucking like 20,000 at least.
That's Marco's grail. That's Marco's grail right there, folks.
Marco,
that's my
I'll
grail.
take a trade.
That.
I will trade. What you got?
I can't even talk now. It's just like, are you kidding me? Fuck.
All right.
Okay, I'm gonna introduce one more pro. I think this is the most important pro that for game worn jersey cards that lends. It's a pro. It's not a pro for the actual collectors of game worn jersey cards. It's a pro for the collectors of game worn hockey jerseys. Is that every time they cut up one of these jerseys, no matter what, no matter if it's an Ovechkin and he wore 20 that year, or if it's a Gordie Howe and he wore 2 that year, every time they cut one up, no matter what, the value of our jerseys go up. And that's a major pro for the hobby we're into.
As long as you can prove that the ones that are in the cards were truly ones that were destroyed, and like we said, not the media jerseys or things like that, where you assume, okay, it's a white one, so there was 6. Now is there really 5? Or
you can't prove anything though. That's the thing.
Yeah,
that's
especially with the card assholes.
That's right. That's the money laundering that they've got going on. You can't prove anything, right?
You can't.
But if we're to believe that these are legitimate, then our hobby it's not better for it. Well, I don't know. Is it? Maybe it is. Is it better for it? Because that means that there's actually less game worn jersey circulation out there.
Well, if you're looking at your hobby or your collection as a monetary value, then yeah, that would be, because if one less jersey is out there of such and such a player, then then there's more demand for what you have. But that's only if you put a monetary value on it. If it's a personal collection, there is no amount of money. Glendenning, if they cut his jersey up, Derek's going to cry.
It depends on which one.
Derek does not care about money. Derek does not care if 500 people have that jersey.
You know what Derek will do? He will start collecting game worn Glendenning hockey cards, and he'll try to get all of them and then piece them all together. And he'll sit there crying to himself and stitching all the little quarter-inch pieces until he has a full jersey. That I would love to see.
But you know what? That's what I'm saying. It's not about value to Derek or somebody else that collects a person. Derek just came out because he collects one person. It's just, you collect this. I don't care what you think the value is. It's my collection. So
well, yeah, but that's I get what you're saying, and I completely agree with you. If that was always going to be the case for the people that collect those specific jerseys, but that also has a lot of impact on the people that might like a Glendenning jersey, and Derek is hoarding them all in his fucking basement.
Then Hockey Town before 4 a.m. and you'll get one.
No, probably not.
No, but that's just an example. I see your side of it. That's one less jersey out there, so the value of your jersey theoretically should go up. Or that player jersey, that team set, or whatever it was. But if you put a monetary value on it.
And I think this applies a lot more to vintage, because vintage was before all of this bullshit started happening, and where they were like, we don't even know if there's a market for the fucking jersey, the game worn jersey, never mind slicing it up to a fucking billion pieces and putting in hockey cards. These are jerseys that, are, cherished in the hobby, and then, a card company gets their hand on one and they slice it up and everyone cries over it.
Well, that's a different conversation.
Sorry?
That's a different conversation.
Yeah, the modern jerseys, they kind of account for it. They just put more out there. So it kind of doesn't matter. But the vintage stuff is a little bit different,
Well, let's talk about that a little bit. So we've got our vintage jerseys, and there's an alternate aspect to think about here, is what jersey are they cutting up? What'd the player do in it? I mean, do we really want them cutting up, Wayne Gretzky's 5 record-breaking season jersey and putting it into cards, because we're going to lose that piece of hockey history. When you cut it up, it's no longer that piece of hockey history. So if these card companies get their hands on it, chop it up, it's gone. It's not history anymore. It's garbage. So, I mean, do we really want them doing that?
No, I don't want them cutting up a single fucking jersey ever. No, not one. Not even my jersey from House League. I don't want them cutting that up. So no, a Gretzky jersey, certainly not.
And then, so we've got that. But now, like you said, the modern times, they're pumping out more. One of the things that in the Red Wing hobby that we've discovered is, and we didn't know about this, but we saw a card that had an actual upper deck set tag on it. And none of us knew that these upper deck sets existed.
That was one that somebody just posted in the last couple weeks. Or was that you that did that?
There's been a few of us that have cycled it around.
Okay, because I saw that pop up, and I saw there was a big conversation on it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is kind of known, though. The teams will just... The companies will just go right to the teams and say, you know what? We want this, this, and this. And they'll wear one for, like, literally a period. They don't have to wear the whole game. That's all they got to do. And then they can say it's game worn. That's it.
Does this not speak to the problem with collecting cards in the first place? Whereas that a card company's agenda is just to pump out as much fucking crap as possible. With no consideration towards of future value, anything like that's the idea of cards. That's what collectible sports cards have been since the early 90s. So nothing's changed really, if you think about it. 25 years later, it's the same fucking thing. So of course that's what they're going to be, what they're going to do, right?
How far is too far? Because I mean, these companies
they're marketing to kids,
anything and everything. Not to go outside of our discussion topic too much, but they have historic cards. I'm a military collector. I've seen cards out there, fabric from Eisenhower's uniform. I've seen Washington's swatch of something else out on these historical sets, clearly Americana or historical artifacts, and they're cutting them up. Now, how do you don't know if that's really Washington's uniform or Eisenhower's? I don't know, but how far is too far? You go from dasher boards that not even played by the same player of the same team of the venue. You go from that venue to historical stuff being cut up. What's next?
I think it's about marketing. Honestly, I don't think there's any responsible or reasonable or any adult that has any common sense whatsoever, adult I'm saying, that collects modern game-worn jersey cards. I'm sorry if any of you fall into that category. I don't think anyone does. But if you're collecting stuff, like, I collected cards when I was a little kid, I think that's who they market to. And I think that's if any adult collects that kind of stuff, they're collecting the vintage stuff. They're collecting the stuff that is they just can't get anymore. And I think that's the Upper Deck or Panini or whatever card companies. I think that it's just marketing to little kids. It's the same thing as tobacco companies. Just the difference is that your game-worn jersey cards are not going to kill you, but it's just marketing to kids. That's all it is. It's just marketing to people that don't know better. That's the sad thing about it.
Yeah, Marco, but no kid's affording a $400 pack of cards.
No, okay, that's okay. So there are people with actual jobs out there beyond 7-Eleven or McDonald's that are actually buying these fucking things,
and they're stupid as hell.
Well, they are, yeah, they are.
Because what really, I mean, in all honesty, you see the card prices, you see the Beckett, the price books written by the company that put the damn cards out to begin with, but 10 years from now, are they going to be worth?
No,
come on.
Tomorrow they're worth half of what you paid to open the fucking box in the first place. It's like I don't know about you guys. You guys might be. You know what? Here's the thing, and the thing we don't take into account is how much money does the person that's opening that pack of cards actually have? That guy might own a fucking island. And if he does, let him open all the fucking packs he wants to. Like, good for him. Maybe he'll open a pack and wipe his ass with it. Who gives a shit, right? Like for that guy, he doesn't give a shit. It's like buying a brand new car. Like I can't will myself to buy a brand new car, but that's because of where I am financially, right? If I was a fucking multi-millionaire, buying a brand new car wouldn't be anything to me, right? I would buy a brand new Mercedes every week. But if I didn't have this one in fucking cherry red, I'm gonna buy that one, right? But I'm not at that stage, so for me, I buy used. I think it's the same thing with buying these, buying a box of the cup, like you were talking about, right? Like it's about how much money you have. I think at that point, it borders along the lines of, it just doesn't matter, It's not an investment anymore,
Well, you want to know something fun that they're doing that I've seen recently is what they're calling a box break, where people pay X amount of dollars and they name a team, and once all the teams are claimed, they open a box of cards, and whoever's in that team slot when that card comes out gets that team. So now they're pooling money together to buy these cards, and doing like a structured raffle style thing.
That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard of in my entire life, to be quite honest with you.
And that's the second time you've said that.
But it is, because this one trumped the last one. This is people getting together to throw their money away. That's incredible.
There's so many Facebook groups for that shit, man. Somebody tried to invite me to one the other day. Do you want to buy this team for this box break?
That's worse than the Greg DeVries Panthers I got from a grab bag 10 years ago.
I'll give you $5 for it.
No, but
I mean, when we were kids, I collected the baseball cards. I've still got a pile of them, and I still find hockey cards. But I look at them and go, and of course these are way before the jersey ones. But even looking at them, and you'd see them priced in the price books, and they $20 for this one or $150 for that one, and you go check that crap now, and it's kindling for my fireplace.
Yep.
All right, so
I had 8,000 cards. I had them in a box, a really gigantic box, like you would see the size of a chest. I just gave them away to a friend. I'm like, I don't have any room for this shit anymore. I'm like, it's, just take it. And eventually, the sad thing is, even with game-worn jersey cards, I know people, it's hard to fathom now. It'll get to that point 10, 20 years from now. It's going to get to that point. Our jerseys, they go up, they go down. I mean, if you collect a lot of crap, right? Like, the value of your collection is going to go down. I think the value of most people's collection is going to go. Even my collection, I think, and I try to collect high-end stuff. It's going to go down, right? But I get a lot of personal pleasure out of that. But man, you're talking about game-worn jersey cards. That's really like.
Well, you got to understand why the card hobby did that, to try and instill value into the cards, because back in the 80s it was just everybody's got a card. Okay, in the 90s they tried to make insert cards, which were basically had different kind of fonts and maybe some kind of different printing techniques or something, and maybe numbered them or something like that. But as it got,
did we lose you?
We lost him.
Yep.
I think what he's saying is that the card companies had to reinvent the cards. They had to come up with new ways because they were on the downside. So they started coming up with inserts and limiting those inserts, autographs. Then then it rolled into jerseys and pads and.
Well, let's talk about the evolution.
They've done football helmets, baseballs, bats, whatever they could cut up. They figured out a way to cut it up, and they inserted it into cards. And then of course they did the rookies, inserted the rookies. and made the packs more valuable. So then people did the chase cards. The regular card just went down. I'm
Okay,
more
so
pissed at the card company. They put that damn glossing on it. You can't get the damn thing autographed.
let's
You know.
talk about the
So
evolution of the jerseys in the card, right? So they started with tiny little swatches of a piece of jersey in a card, right? Then we started seeing patches. Then we started seeing letters and numbers. Now we're seeing actual set tags in the cards. What is going to happen next? It's going to be
I'll tell you
it's going to be
one
them
thing.
finding a jersey that has repairs, cutting out where the repair is, and putting the some bitch in the card. I just gave him that idea. I gave him that idea, and I want $1 million right now.
Sorry about that, guys. But I don't know if you guys finished the point, but the point was just that the card hobby was trying to instill value in their cards because they were losing it over time. And that's why they started doing autographs and jerseys and patches and tags and boards and sticks and, teeth. I don't know.
Well, and that Derek was kind of leading down that path. I think at some point you could get to that, or God, is it going to be a body part, or they lost a tooth? Here's a part of a game-worn tooth. But the other side, Derek, that you said was seeing jerseys with, or swatches with repairs. I know I've seen several that have decent marks on them, where it was good board burn, good puck mark, something actually across, and those seem to be rare. But I'm surprised. But at least those were worn in either one rough game or more than one game and preseason, whatever. But yeah, they get to the point where you're seeing the repairs in there where everybody will go batshit crazy over them. They're eventually going to have to do that, or the card company's going to lose their ass.
Okay, you want me to spend my money? Give me Sidney Crosby, game-worn hockey jersey semen sample, and I will buy that $250 easy.
What we need to do is we need to start up a card company and get all the hookers that bang the players to give up their used connies, and we'll slap them in there.
I'm waiting for
I don't want
That's got more collectability to me.
Yeah, comes with a little vial that's in the card.
That's what I'm saying right there. You got to think outside the box,
Well, wait for the
or
ice
in the
to show
box,
up in
for
a
that
card.
matter.
Yeah.
You got to get in the box on those.
There was a card set that had dinosaur fossils in it a couple years ago too. I don't know if they still do it.
Yeah, they still do it. They do a bunch of crazy stuff. But you're going back about jerseys. What's next? You see the NHL shield from the collars. People are putting those in cards. Wait till you see. I'm assuming they're going to do maybe either piece of fight strap or almost half of or a full fight strap in a card. I don't know.
They've already thought about all this shit. I'm sure they do that, don't they? It would be ridiculous if they didn't.
Oh, they've done it. I have the Brendan Witt one. Yeah. I was like, well, if I can't, they already cut my jersey up. I might as well get all the pieces to it.
I want one guy. I want there to be. I think there was a post about this a long time ago. But one guy to collect every single fucking card of that jersey and put it all together. I want that to happen. I'll die happy if that happens. I swear to God.
I'd be curious too if anybody knows is what do they do, because they don't make or do they lie and put them under other names when they cut up one of those jerseys. They're not using every piece of that. Is it just going to garbage in a pile of scraps, or are they using it in other cards with other names?
That goes in their vintage vault, man. And 20 years from now, they're like, "Whoa, check this shit out! This is our vintage Maxim Afenogenoff 2006 Buffalo Sabre," and it's exercise in stupidity.
Well, they use this shit year over year, so they get one player's jersey 1 year, and they use it for the next 15 years of cards for that player. Because, how many cards can you make out of a jersey? They're 2-ply material, so...
That's a good question. How many could you make?
Well, there's an example that Panini put out, I think 2-3 years ago. They had a Black Hawk crest and everybody else. I think it was for the finals in 2013. And they showed the Indian head, and I think it was 16 individual cut-ups just for the Indian head logo. And they're like, oh, you can get your, whatever. And then you figure if they did more material around it. But even just the Indian head crest is 16 individual cards right there.
I think I've heard somewhere between 300 and 500.
Damn.
Oh my god! I just thought of
If
this.
it's double ply and you separate the jersey,
I think that's total. That's not just, they're definitely, it's a card company. They're not going to allow both sides of the jersey. Yeah, they're going to totally do one side, inside or outside.
We just hit 10 minutes left, and I cannot believe we haven't talked about this. But what about the copycats? I saw somebody buy an Ovechkin jersey from MyGray, cut the son of a bitch up, and make little keychain things and try and sell them on eBay. You guys see that? You remember that?
No, because I'm not searching for keychains on eBay.
Derek,
No.
you know you have
Not seen that.
you have a Red Wings wallet. One of the
Yeah, there's
Hell
the
no.
GameWorn wallets.
Oh,
What about
Jesus.
Yes,
you got the
there's
GameWorn
that
wallets?
too.
You
All the
got
copycat
this-
shit, man.
But that's usually from NHL store, and I know some other people have them, but that could just be a regular jersey, an authentic jersey. That's not a game worn jersey.
The
And see,
ironic
one
thing
I
a
saw-
bit behind Game Worn wallets is if you buy a Game Worn wallet, you probably have no money to put in the fucking thing because you're an idiot.
The one I saw the other day, and it was from one of the sites, same site that's selling the Blues jerseys, or the company. It listed it specifically as a game-worn Blues jersey because it was, inside the wallet. You open it up, there's a section of jersey.
Now the copycat that was on eBay that was making these keychains and other bullshit with this, on every listing he would show a picture of the remaining jersey with the MyGray tag and shit so you could look it up. Like, look at this, it really is this fucking piece in here. Buy this shit.
Well, it sounds bad. At least he was being more upfront than most of the goddamn
Yeah,
card companies.
I'm with Jason
True.
on this one.
That's true. At least he was being upfront about what he did.
Yeah, I mean, better to say, hey, I bought this expensive ass jersey. If you want a piece, it's true to life. You can check the number. You can call Barry, the whole bit. Yeah, he with the cards. Who knows where the hell it came from?
Oh, we know
Do
where
you see
what came
teams
from.
doing this? Do you see teams in the foreseeable future saying, "Hey, we
Oh,
can't
for
get
sure.
rid of this
Hell no.
jersey,"
Hell
Guaranteed.
no.
You doing it?
They ain't got the time for that shit. Are you kidding? They can't.
I don't think
they
the
don't have
teams
the
are that
time
smart, yeah.
to do the right shit with their jerseys right now. They ain't got the time to cut the shit up.
No, I think it'll get to that point.
But stuff that's ranted out. I mean, the Blackhawks already do it now with. I've talked about, they sell the regular canning jars of stuff that got ripped apart or broken or whatever the case is. They throw in a canning jar and sell it for, $75 or $100, and there's no work put into it other than they just took the scraps that are going to go in the trash and throw it in a jar. How is that any different if they put in a little card or put it in something for
Blackhawks are a
memorabilia?
different animal, dude. You can't even compare Blackhawks to like the rest of the world. Like if there's
any of the
5
respective
cents to be
teams
made
that we follow hired us to do their marketing in terms of game worn material bullshit, we would cover our salaries tenfold. There are enough fucking retards out there. Sorry, I know that's blunt, but there are. To buy all this stuff, it's hand over fist. It's ridiculous. There's going to be buyers. There always is.
I'm
Well, you
gonna
also
cut up
have
my
the
collection
guy
right now.
Who's the company that's taken like quote unquote game used sticks and using the shafts or whatever for like grilling utensils? Have you seen that one yet?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've seen it.
Yeah, but that's kind of cool. I think so.
But how do you know
Another
whether or
one-
not a pro style?
Well, if
Like
if you got a stick collector, he's probably on the other end going, "What the fuck you cut up a stick for?"
No,
I know.
I'm just saying that guy, he's okay to make it financially viable. He's cutting up like no-name guys' sticks, right? Like maybe like HL or whatever, and people are buying them, not believing that they're an investment. It's just a vanity item. So I'm with that guy. I want to barbecue using fucking.
And at least you can grill some burgers, man. You can't do shit
Right.
with a card. Yeah.
You can use it to light the fire with.
Exactly.
Okay, so check it out. I've got this jersey that's a piece of shit, right? So I'm gonna cut it up and sell it to you so you can wipe your ass for $50. How about that?
No, man. I buy really cheap toilet paper, so it's not the market for me.
No, like another one that the company I follow, and it's out of Detroit, is Original Sticks. Have you seen that one
Yeah.
where they make the cell phone
The
cases with
iPads
the
or
sticks?
the covers and shit.
Yeah, which
That's-
I
That's
think is
cool,
pretty
though. that's all right. There's nothing wrong with that. These guys are just saying like, hey, this shit's worth nothing anyways. Fucking protect your cell phone with it. There's nothing wrong with that.
And these days, guys go through like 5 sticks a game. I mean, how many times?
Exactly.
I mean, how many times have you seen like on a power play, like guy go through like 3 sticks on a shift? But it's like, holy shit.
There's a difference. Those companies are cutting up garbage players' stuff, like AHL shit. Like even less than that.
Wow. I mean, and then at the end of the season, you got teams that have 500 sticks left over. Guys just bought a batch and they're like, oh, this is shit. I don't want to use it for whatever
Someone's
reason.
just being resourceful.
Yeah.
That's different than the Upper Deck and Paninis of the world. They're not lying to anyone.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think when I post this this episode, I should post the video of Panini cutting some shit up.
It's not a bad idea.
Go link this on Panini and Upper Deck's website.
Dude, they care so not about us. They don't care at all.
You'll be getting a phone call. Please remove our shit from your website.
Right? We've disabled embedding.
Yeah. If you collect the cards, if you're someone who collects the cards and now they're not on this, you're pissed off at us. That's all I got to say.
Yeah.
If you collect the cards and you're listening to our show now, you are pissed off at us right now, and we are every word in the book.
If you collect the cards and you're listening to our show, you're listening to the wrong show, man.
Yeah. Just don't.
But that's the thing, though. They don't give a fuck because they're marketing to little kids. Little kids are not listening to our radio show. It's like the tobacco companies, man. It's the same fucking thing,
Yeah, unfortunately,
just taking advantage of people.
Packs. Kids can't afford those packs.
I think cigarettes are a better investment than GameWorn jerseys. If any kids are listening right now, cigarettes are a way better investment than GameWorn jerseys. Go smoke a pack of cigarettes, kids.
Not in this state when it's like $11 a pack now.
This one I just carted in from Indiana.
That'll be $18 next year. Come on.
God.
All right, so closing thoughts.
Cards suck.
Heard that.
Yeah. Dear Panini, stop cutting up our fucking jerseys.
Gotti.
I'm gonna say, if you're cutting up any Maple Leafs vintage Hall of Famers, just don't cut up the ones that I have. And then the value of my shit will go up, and I don't give a fuck anymore. Good on you. Kudos to you, Panini and Upper Deck. Keep cutting them.
My piece of wisdom for final say would be to all the jersey sellers out there: if you actually have a cherry item, vet your buyer. Don't sell your shit to a jersey card company unless you're taking them to the bank.
Because it's all about the money they're gonna get. They don't care.
Take them to the bank. Like, you want this jersey, it's $20,000.
Oh, guaranteed. There you go.
Like, if you're going to sell it to them, sell it to them at a ridiculous-ass price. That's 100%. My thought. All right, guys. It's pretty much all the time we have, so maybe we'll visit this topic another time, because it was definitely a lot of fun. So what we'll do is we'll talk throughout the week and see what we can get lined up for the next topic. If not, we'll do round 2, yeah?
We got hours left in this conversation.
Yeah,
I got more stories I could tell, but they would drive Marco up a wall. So.
We're all right. So
right there.
Continuation next week. I gotcha. All right, guys. Thanks for joining me this week. It was awesome. We'll catch you around.
See ya.
2 weeks. See you then.